Hello humans! Today I'm going to teach you about default and keyword arguments. Both of these are time savers that we can use with functions, so let's get started with default arguments. As the name implies, default arguments allow us to set a default value for a parameter. This means if someone calls our function and doesn't pass a value for a parameter, we can still run our function because we have a backup plan in place. Let's define print age, which takes age as a parameter. It will then print that age. To set a default value for age, we click right after it and say equals 25. Now I'll call print age and say that my age is 22. Running this, I see 22 print out. We don't see 25 because I specified a value for age, meaning the default got overridden. If I delete 22, if I call the function without setting a value for age, when I run this, I'll see 25 print out. Because we didn't specify a value for age, it defaulted to 25. Default arguments get even more powerful when we combine them with keyword arguments. Normally, we have to pass all of our arguments in order so that they match up with our function's parameters. Keyword arguments allow us to break that order by matching argument to parameter by keyword instead of matching argument to parameter by order. Let's create a function called printVolume, and it takes length, width, and height as parameters. Let's print the string length plus the string equivalent of parameter length, width plus parameter width, and height plus parameter height. My volume is then equal to length times width times height. And lastly, we'll print out my volume. Let's call this function and set 5 for the length, 3 for the width, and 2 for the height. Running this, we see 30 print out, which is 5 times 3 times 2. Now here's the secret. All of our parameters are keyworded already. When we name a parameter, we are defining the keyword for it. To show this, I'll call printVolume again and say that length is equal to 5, width is equal to 3, and height is equal to 2. Running this, we get 30, so nothing changed. The reason we use keywords is so that we can pass parameters in any order. So watch this. I'll call printVolume again, and this time I'll say height is equal to 2, length is equal to 5, and width is equal to 3. Running this, I can see that even though I passed height first, height still gets the proper value of 2. Even though we deviated from the order that our function set, we still passed the proper values to our parameters because we used keyworded arguments. Let's combine our keyworded arguments with defaults now. I'll set a default value for 10 for all of my parameters, and I'll call printVolume. And let's assume I want to find the volume for an object with a length of 10, width of 10, and height of 5. Since 10 is our default for everything, passing a 10 to length and width would be redundant. The only value we need to specify is height. Now I can say printVolume height is equal to 5. Running this, I see that height is indeed 5 and my volume is 500, 10 times 10 times 5. This worked because we specified that we were only passing in a value for height, so the other parameters defaulted to 10. This gets more useful when working with bigger functions, especially when you're building functions for other people to use. But I wanted to include it anyway, as you may see functions that utilize these constructs. Today we learned how to default arguments and pass arguments by keyword in Python. A big thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Comment below with suggestions for future videos, and I will see you in the next one.